Hello, everybody. This is Laura. We're here with Lorena, and with Emily, we're doing our TARDIscuss to talk about the second episode of Doctor Who. This week was a great one. So this one was called The Ghost Monument, and we're going to kick it off with Lorena. Emily, we're doing our TARDIscuss.
Okay, I'm making sure I'm moving this time. I think it looks like I don't have the white bar, so I think we're good. Yeah, so hello. We don't have any opening questions this week, but I am having a beer again in my Slytherin glass. And I have my Doctor Who sweater on because it's cold. And I think we wanted to kind of remember that we forgot a bunch of stuff last week. So we were going to jump into first some stuff that we didn't talk about. And I think the main thing was really Ryan's dyspraxia. And we wanted to talk about that. And it was national, or I guess worldwide, I don't know, Dyspraxia Awareness Week last week. So we thought that was really cool. And we wanted to discuss that. And actually, I was at the Comic-Con panel, and Chibs, the showrunner, sorry, my brain is all over. He was they were doing Q&A, and the last question came from a girl or a woman who had dyspraxia, and it was very emotional. So I don't want to cry right now, so I'm not gonna fully go into it. But yeah, she was like, I didn't expect to see myself represented both as a woman and as, my dyspraxia. And so then she wanted to know more about that in the character. And he explained that his nephew has dyspraxia, and they really looked into it and researched it, worked with the Dyspraxia Foundation there, or whatever their thing is called officially, association. I don't know, sorry. And really put in the time, the research, and he assured the woman asking the question that it wasn't a standalone story to that episode. And then, as we all saw in this week's episode, this did continue for Ryan, and it's, as Chibs explained, part of who he is, and he's defined by many things, and this is one of them, and all of those things sort of add up to create the hero he is. So I thought that was really cool. And it was one of those great panel moments where you get an excellent audience question. That's just like, so good. So we wanted to discuss that. And then let me jump back up to my notes. We also want to talk about the ratings, which I think Emily was super excited to share with you guys. So,
yep. Hi, I'm Emily. Again, because you may still not be familiar with what we sound like, who we are, and the Santa Ana winds are a thing in Southern California. They only look fun in the movie The Holiday. They're not fun, especially if you suffer from allergies. So I am drinking tea. I think the doctor would be very proud of having a nice cup of tea. So I wanted to discuss the ratings really quick. When the episode premiered in the UK, it had 8.2 million households for BBC One, which is really fantastic. They said that was a good rating share for the UK audience. And in the US, it was 1.4 million households, but that was up 48% in the total audience over Peter Capaldi's last season. So I thought that was really a great thing for Jodie's premiere here. And, obviously, when you're watching here on BBC America, not everybody can get that. It's not a free cable channel. You have to pay for that. Whereas BBC One, everybody gets that because it's all there. So that was my little take on the ratings, the things that we missed last week. And I think that was one of the things that we wanted to talk about. we sort of touched on Chris Chinball. I know we were, did I say his last name right? I know we were shortening his last name to Chibs. I think that's what his nickname is. Do we want to start in on him as a showrunner and how he's different from Stephen Moffat?
Sure. I feel like he is super different. I keep hearing like people calling this season a breath of fresh air. So my friend said that to me today, and then I've heard, I don't know, like 3 or 4 other people randomly say that. And I really agree with that. I do feel like it is a totally different take that he's done. But I think that it kind of comes from his active choice to bring more diversity into the show, both on camera and behind the camera. So they have a lot more writers. They have like a proper writer team this year, and he's staffed that up with people of all ages and races and backgrounds and disabilities. So it's an interesting, it's like totally different than middle-aged white man working on the show. And I think that's immediately apparent from the opening scene. So that's how I am experiencing it so far. Laura, thoughts?
I'm still getting used to the muting and muting thing, so you'll have to stick with me on this one. Also, I forgot to mention that I am drinking tonight a random mix of cranberry juice and pineapple vodka. I don't know where this came from, but I'm out of ginger beer and Tito's, so this is where we're at. But I was reading a really cool article from Vanity Fair earlier today that I sent the link to you guys on, and it was talking about how excited they were to have such a diverse team and so many different viewpoints. And I think that is coming through so much on the show. You can just tell, like, the actors and actresses, everyone just seems to be very, I don't know, I don't want to say happy, but just content in their roles. And I feel like that's just coming through on the screen, and that's making an even better show for us. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that they're looking at it from multiple different viewpoints and not just the standard white male viewpoint that we've had for the last however many seasons. I love this fresh new take on it. I think it's great. So for me, it's making the show, it's making me addicted to the show again. And that's something that's been lacking the last couple seasons. So definitely.
I love it. I love it. Before we go into the TARDIS, I want to find out, they had, I think, Lorena, you said while you were at the panel, they mentioned it, but the first time, they are, instead of a basic action figure, because Jodie is the first female doctor, they are going to do a Barbie of Jodie as the doctor. And I know we have some strong divergent feelings of the Barbie as, or the doctor as a Barbie doll. And I actually think, they've done some things. Barbie has had several careers. She's been a president, she's been a doctor, and I think that it is a unique platform instead of a basic action figure. And I'm sort of for the marketing that Mattel could do with Barbie. And I'm for that. I think as a collector's item, I think it would be a great thing. But I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on the doctor as a Barbie.
So I I love the Barbie idea. I love the Barbie idea because as, I don't know, as scripted as it seems like, oh, we have a female doctor, so we have to make her a Barbie. I also love the fact that there's going to be a whole generation of kids like my nieces who are between the ages of 2 and 6 that are going to be able to get to play with the doctor as a Barbie and get to know this amazing character that I've loved for a really long time. So for me, I love the idea. Like I was saying earlier today, I don't know if I would buy one for myself. Definitely, I'm looking at that Funko Pop and waiting for those to come out. But I would definitely consider getting a Barbie, which I, up until this point, would not buy a Barbie. So unless my son wanted one, in which case he can have a Barbie. But until then, I'm here for it.
I feel like he's too small for a Barbie size as of yet.
He would eat an accessory.
Yeah. I hate Barbie, so I'm not excited about it. I do want to clarify for all viewers that Mattel wasn't like, oh, let's make a Doctor Who Barbie because the Doctor is a woman. They're actually making a heroes line, and she just happens to be a hero at this moment. They're making the line. So that's how she got her spot, is because she's a hero, not because she's a woman. They have a bunch of others that I didn't totally listen to because I hear the word Barbie and I shut down. I don't like dolls. I've never liked dolls. I was a stuffed animal kid. I can't do the Barbie, but to each their own. Do your thing, everyone. Be you. Be happy.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I think that's why there are multiple things. It's why we've got, Funko Pops and why we've got action figures and everything. Mm-hmm. I do agree that there are going to be some little girls who are like, who is this? Or there are little girls who are totally into Doctor Who and they finally get a Barbie who they get to, welcome to my Malibu beach house that's also bigger on the inside. So okay, so this week in the TARDIS, let's finally dive into the episode. I know we've been talking for about 15 minutes, but let's finally dive into the Ghost Monument.
Ghost.
Overall thoughts on the episode? Like ratings, like how would you, 10 out of 10 TARDISes? What would you rate it?
I think I would give it an 8.
Okay.
It's a 7 or an 8. I don't think it has a high rewatchability, because there isn't that much that happens. It is kind of similar to other episodes you had mentioned in our chat offline, Emily, and I don't want to jump into that too much because you're going to talk about that later. But it's kind of one of those episodes where not too much happens, not too many people happen. So I don't think I would rewatch it. But as far as a first watch goes, I loved it. It was super well paced, and I really didn't know what was going to happen. Like throughout, everything was a surprise. Like when they got into the ruins, which was like a shopping plaza, that was just like, what is this? And then it's like a shooting range, and you're like, what? With sniper robots, and it was just very like shocking. And then when you find out like what really happened, that was totally unexpected as well. So it was I thought, very well done in that everyone was learning the information together. And as soon as one piece of information was learned, then the chase began. It was a very fast paced, constantly moving episode, which I appreciated. And it did have like actual villain in it, but it was a little more psychological, which I had mentioned I enjoy. So I think, them trying to figure out that like the environment and why it would kill them essentially was sort of like the problem they had to solve as far as like to get to where the TARDIS is supposed to be. So yeah, I liked it a lot, but I think once you kind of have everything revealed, it loses its original luster.
Laura?
I would rate this episode. I agree. I'm going to say an 8 out of 10 TARDISes because for me, it moved. I liked the whole, that we start out there in space. They get scooped up. Yaz and the Doctor get scooped up by Angstrom, and then Ryan and Graham get scooped up by Epso. I don't know, I probably said that wrong. And so, they're separated. And so that my first thought was, okay, are we going to deal with them being separated for like half a season? Because that's some Moffat stuff right there. And I really just don't want to deal with it. But very quickly I found out that wasn't the case and I need to let go of those feelings. So for me, I liked the pacing. And then I felt like we got to that shooting range and it just kind of slowed down a little bit for me. And once we, just like you were saying, like once we kind of found out what was going on, it just kind of lacked some of the luster. Having the TARDIS show up at the very end was a really sweet moment, and I loved seeing it. But I kind of wish we had been able to see more of the TARDIS. But I mean, we have the rest of the season, but I wanted more of it. So that was for me. 8 out of 10 TARDIS.
Okay. I do totally agree. I am going to ask if either of you are familiar. I know I am on the older side of both of you, but there was a movie done, I'm going to say in the late 80s, early 90s, that was also a remake of like a 60s movie. But the movie I'm thinking of is called Rat Race, and it had like Whoopi Goldberg and I think like John Lovett, and John Lovett was like the father. Kathy Najimy was his wife. And they had to go, a millionaire sent them on a race across the country in order to do this. And then the remake, it was a remake of a 60s movie called It Was a Mad, 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 Mad World. And it felt, this was the similar thing. I would have sort of loved to have seen a few of the other space race things like this, because to see what people are doing to get this grandiose prize, I think that is an interesting concept. What will people do for this? I mean, I still don't know when they were doing the translation of, or the how much money were they making, because we don't know.
Enough to have your own planet, it sounded like.
Yeah, to buy safety on a safe planet or something like that. It was weird.
Right. So
I think that's a fanfic you need to write, Emily. I think that the backstory, the Rally backstory, the Amazing Universe race.
The Amazing Universe race. There you go. Like, can you imagine what they took to get there, and the two other people who died coming out of the
hyperspeed. The final two. Actually, I used to write for this Doctor Who website in the UK that this is like I am legit nerd, guys. It's called I don't remember what the site is called, but their writing section was called Vortextra, like play on Vortex. And they would have the before and the after of each episode. So like before the Doctor arrived and after the Doctor left, like what happened. So you could write that. You could write that before. And then I think you could also write the after, because we don't know where they go after they disappear.
Right.
Yeah, I want more information on that. Like, I wasn't ready to let those two people go. Like, you made me care about the guy that was kind of a dick the whole time. And
did you really care about him?
I did.
I didn't.
I did, but I did care for him. And this is why. Because I was like, this guy is such a turd and I don't like him at all. And then he's like, yeah, my dog is also a turd. And then he's like, well, my mom encouraged me to basically, jump and hurt myself. And she said she would catch me, and then she didn't catch me. And she was like, LOL, that's the way it works. And then I'm like looking at my kid and I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of feel for this guy, like, and at the end he walks in with Angstrom, and yeah, I grew to care.
Did you just tell us that you have had your child jump from a tree and then did not catch him? Like, what just happened, Laura?
No, I'm like looking at my kid like I would be horrified if I told my kid I would catch him and something happened and I couldn't catch him. Like, it would break my heart. And I feel bad for this guy because his mom didn't even care.
I think she did care. I think her point was that no one cares in this universe. Like, you have yourself, and that's literally it. Like, It was a very, like, 007, like, that's James Bond's upbringing. Like, no one really cares about you. It's a cold world. It's a cold universe.
It's a mad world.
Yeah, exactly. Rebooted. Maybe that's what it's from.
I don't know. I'm going to blame it on postpartum hormones, even though my kid is over a year old.
You don't need to blame it on anything. It's a horrifying idea. And I think all of the other characters were horrified. I did like that it showed just how different the universe is. With that, I guess that was something I wanted to talk about. So maybe I'll just leap into it. Here I go. I really enjoyed that we got to see the current universe and that Earth was part of it. And this is going to leap like all the way to our villain section. But I really like, one of my favorite parts of the episode was that, what was the woman's name? Angstrom, I think. Angstrom. Okay. Yeah. I really love that Angstrom's wife was killed by Stenza and Graham's wife was killed by Stenza. And they had like this common bond that the Stenza are basically infiltrating planets and committing genocide and like ethnic cleansing to make way for their teeth faces. And just like how horrific that is and how real it is in our current world. Like that's really happening. Maybe not with the teeth, maybe with the teeth. I don't know. I don't actively read about genetic or ethnic cleansing, but it's a thing happening right now. And so for me, I kind of see Doctor Who as like Earth is sort of like representative of maybe like the EU. And then the rest of the universe is representative of like the rest of the countries in the world. So, you can kind of look at like different, like the Daleks might represent, a nation or like a culture on Earth or on a time period on Earth. So it has like that symbolism of that sci-fi likes to do, where it's like kind of telling the story of what's happening in society, but putting it in a science fiction way. And I felt like this episode really clinched for us, like Earth is part of the current full universe and the impact of the universe and the villains in the universe are like real and it's really happening here and now. And like having Graham and this Angstrom both have the same exact loss from the same exact culture killing people. Like it really hit me. Like that to me was the strongest thing besides the TARDIS reunite. That was like the most emotional thing for me in the episode. And I love that we're seeing just like this vast, it just feels more real. I don't know how else it just felt more like so much more authentic than I've seen Doctor Who to date. How introducing those two collisions. So like so rawly that Graham just like casually was like, yeah, that's who came to Sheffield. They killed my wife. And Angstrom like, they killed my wife too. And it was just like, like everyone's wife is dead and this is horrible. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'm expressing myself well here. I'm going to go on mute and someone else can talk. Please.
Okay. I do think that common shared experience was a good thing. Laura, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I think because for Graham to be like, we're on an alien planet and coming to grips and terms with what do we do? Here we are on this alien planet, and suddenly to have this, he's looking at this woman who is an alien and not sure how to deal with the same, how are we doing this and moving on, but suddenly has a shared experience, the exact same shared experience is that common ground, and is like, just because we're not on Earth, we don't have anything in common with this other alien, even though we look exactly alike, we can do this. And I think we can see that he's starting to love wanting to be out in outer space just the way his wife would have wanted to be. So
yes, yeah, that's what I was going to say exactly. It's just that you can see him when he's connecting with this alien really start to like be more in the moment of, I'm alive, I'm on an alien planet, this is my situation that I'm in, and how would Grace deal with this? And that's why I feel like she is such a perfect name, because she would deal with it with a whole bunch of grace, like, we're on this alien planet and we're doing this relay race or rally race or whatever, and let's just go for it. And you kind of see him jump up and do that. And there was a moment, I don't know if this is getting us off topic, but I have to say it before I forget. There was that moment where Graham is talking with Ryan about, it's okay, like, this tragedy just happened to us, and it's okay if you want to talk about it, if you're still feeling your feels, when they have that moment when they're trying to get that the ship started up and everything, like, it really brings it home that, like, they're not just going to move on from the death of this woman like it never happened and never mention it again. Like, they were going to explore how they're coping with their grief. And that's something that I don't think a lot of shows in the genre really, really explore is, when you have grief, you don't just move on to something else because it happened last episode. Like, grief is a process. And I think in our society, especially, we just kind of move on and we don't talk about it. And to have a major TV show explore that was something I deeply appreciated. So anyways, that's my off topic for the night.
No, it's good.
I think that's on topic. And they have been pushing this as being episodic, but I think what you just said clarifies for us that it isn't. It is serial. In fact, you could jump in, but you're going to miss, like, that someone died and they're grieving, that to me, I like cried when Grace died. And my aunt is named that, so it's really uncomfortable to say that. Sorry. But it was just like super upsetting because we loved her, and we'd only known her for like 40 minutes at that point, And so we loved her, and we loved the people who loved her, and we knew we were going to have to be with them still. And so that they've taken it and continued it. I'm really pleased. They're giving it some serial elements, and this is one of them. So yeah, it's on topic, Laura. Don't worry.
Well, good. I'm glad I was still somewhat on topic.
Okay. Let's actually talk about two things. One, we sort of skipped over the opening credits.
Yeah, we did. I saw that in our notes. And by the way, no one is watching us, so we're just literally are alone right now.
But that's okay. They'll be listening to us.
Yes.
Don't worry, people who are not watching us. We still are. We know you'll come watch us and you'll listen to us at a later time.
We're coming at you Western time.
Which is in Perth, Australia, we discovered. So Perth, Australia, we are here for you.
Yeah. Hello. It's noon there. Hope you're having a good lunch. Tomorrow, our time. So yeah, this show opened. So I guess we also didn't mention there's a new composer. Murray Gold is no more. He is living somewhere else. He used to live in New York. I think he lives in LA now. But he is done mailing it in. I said it. And we have a new person who is shown up to work. And I am super happy so far. I have noticed the music in a good way. Where it's like it'll show up right in the right way at the right time. Not that I don't love Murray Gold's music, because I do. But lately it had gotten a little boring and repetitive. But the show open music is such a throwback to like that really original theming. They kind of moved in that direction with Peter. But this one is just like very in it. And the close music too. It's just like back. I've watched probably like 10 to 11 stories of the first Doctor. I say stories because they're 5 episodes long. And the music is like very, just like how it has nothing, like it's so specific. And this music is very reflective of that. We can't actually sing it because we don't have the rights. But the show open itself, I was like, oh, I love this visual. And then at the very end, it like cut to black and was like, The Ghost Monument, written by Chris Chibnall. And I was just like, really? You can't leave that in the graphic movement? Like that, I was so annoyed. Like I'm going to have to adjust to that, because that just really bothered me, that it was just like, boom, cut to Lost. And I'm like, we're not watching Lost. We're watching Doctor Who. Like, don't do that. So I don't know.
So who is it? I just looked up.
I don't know. It's like a young black looking guy who's pretty cute.
The orchestrator is Alec Roberts. There's no picture.
I don't think that is. I thought his name started with an R. I didn't research this. Why are you calling me out right now?
The R is Ron Granier.
No, that's the original composer.
Okay, well, that was the only R name.
Okay, well, then maybe it's Alec, but it's composed, like, I don't think he's an orchestrator. Like, Ben Foster used to be the orchestrator and Murray Gold was the composer.
Yeah, there's no composer listed.
I'm gonna Google it. Someone else talk.
You're in charge. Okay, let's talk about...
Should we talk about the hill that we'll die on?
Yes, let's talk about our episode Hills Will Die On.
No one else has opinions on the freaking show open? Come on, people. There's a new logo. There's a new graphic. Like, everything is new. It's purple.
Yes, there's a new logo. There's a new graphic. I liked it. I was like, it was a new take on the space-time vortex, which I thought was cool. It also still sounds like it had the aspect of the theremin, which if you watched the episode of the Graham Norton show, Jodie was on with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, and Graham pulls out the theremin for her to play, and Lady Gaga also takes a stab at playing the theremin. It was very fascinating, and Ryan Gosling tells a story about how he created or got a CD of something like Songs from the Moon for John Glenn, who he's playing in First Man. So it was like Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, and Jodie Whittaker, and I'm like, what a couch for Graham Norton. I was like, that's a cool that's a cool episode. But Graham pulls it out and they play the Doctor Who theme on the theremin, which is the woo sort of instrument. But Lady Gaga can play any instrument apparently, because she sits down in front of the theremin and plays it.
I fully believe that. She's magic. So
Yes.
I've played
yeah.
the theremin, and it isn't incredibly difficult, but it isn't very easy either. So I love Lady Gaga, so I'm not giving her any shit here. But you basically just move your. It's one of the only instruments you play without touching it. So
that's really weird.
Literally that, Emily.
I know.
It's that. I mean, actually, it's like you use your hands are in different places. They're not out like this, but
yes, I was doing it for the camera. I was trying to.
Yeah. I found our guy. I can't say his name. He's British Nigerian. I put it in the comments. Though our video says it's unavailable right now, so I don't know what's happening. I hope we're still live. It says we are.
Sigun Akinola?
Yeah. Sure.
I'm making it up.
Yeah, we don't know how to say
Sorry
his
if I
name.
butchered your name. I really apologize.
Yes. You're very cute, so we apologize a lot. Anyway, that's him. That's all I know. I found a Guardian article. I'll put the link in there.
There you go. Good internet sleuthing.
Sleuthing. And it's just saying he's like remaking the theme. So maybe he's not doing all of the composition. I thought he was, though. I thought like it was that.
My only comment on the whole like music composition thing is that for me, like with the 11th Doctor, the way the music was and everything really made some of the scenes so epic, and that was something that I really missed for the 12th Doctor. So I didn't notice, I have to admit, I didn't notice the music during my first watch of the Ghost Monument, but I did notice it on my second watch. The way the music would break in, I noticed the opening scene and the logo and everything. I don't know if it was just a matter of like, I was just tired the first time I watched it, or if I was so excited to find out what the Ghost Monument was and trying to figure that out that I just wasn't paying that close of attention. But that's, I did notice it the second time I watched it. So, and I liked it, but I can't wait till we get like further into the season and you start to have like those really big moments that like build up and you get the music. Like that's going to be what tells me if I like it, like as much as I liked it with the 11th Doctor, if that makes sense. I hope it does.
Totally makes sense because like Lorena said, we felt Murray Gold was phoning it in during the 12th Doctor season. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of people were. So just going to throw that out there.
Hey, totally.
I froze, so I missed part of that. Sorry.
Murray Gold was phoning it in. That's what we said.
Oh, yeah.
We were agreeing with you.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the episode hills we will die on. Laura.
So, the hill that I will absolutely die on is in regards to the inside of the TARDIS. We waited all episode to see the inside of the TARDIS. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw like the little vestibule area at first, I was like, oh my God, is it not working? Like, what is the inside? Like, oh, it's not working. It turned into a real police box. And then you see like all the metal shapy things. And then you open up and you get to see, and I brought out a prop for this, the amazing Himalayan salt cave that is now the inside of the TARDIS. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I am saying it's a little salty.
Okay.
I had some Kryptonian Fortress of Solitude vibes with the crystals. I don't love it yet. I need time. I need adjustment time.
I think you still wanted the like orby things, right?
No, I said the honeycomb. I think I said hexagon, but I meant honeycomb, which was in there. So they had that, and they had sort of like a throw to the clock gears when you first got to the first like layer after the sparkle entry. Yeah, I didn't love it. And then was the biscuit that came out? It wasn't a jammy Dodger. So like what?
But it was still a biscuit. She stepped on a pedal and a biscuit came out, and she was so excited. I loved that.
I mean, let's be real. That's goals.
Was she wanting that? Did I miss that?
I mean, she stepped on a pedal and she was like, it gave me a biscuit.
Yeah. I don't think she specifically said, I want a pedal with a biscuit. Like, but I know that if I had that option when I was putting in my kitchen in my house, like if you push this button, you'll get a cookie. I would have gone with it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I did read somewhere that this was a design, one of the original drawings, that it was going to be one of Tennant's TARDIS options, and they went with a different one. So this, it's been changed, modified a little bit, but this was some of the framework and initial things were one of the initial designs.
It felt the most, it felt the most like his, because it had that organic feel to it,
and that bronze coppery color.
Yeah, well, I felt like that was to match her Sonic more than anything. The Himalayan salt.
Salty.
Now I know how to make a cheap Sonic. I just buy some Himalayan salt. That stuff isn't cheap though. It'd probably be cheaper to just buy the Sonic.
Yeah, this bad boy sent me back $25 on Amazon. So imagine with the way more money
than like a $20 Sonic. So depends on the shipping. Yeah,
that's very true. Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
All right, Lorraine, my hill. I have a hill, and I think some others in this group may also share this hill. When something is coming from the sky or rolling towards you, you know, a la Indiana Jones in that giant ball. Do you just run in a direct straight line away from it as it continues on its pathway towards you in the trench? Or do you perhaps exit to one of the sides, left or right? Probably identical options, unless one side is, you know, has a propeller on it and the other side doesn't. Like, which is more intelligent, you know? And I just can't, when you're running straight away from something that's barreling towards you, you're stupid. You should die. Like, you are in the way and you're not getting out of the way. You're just running in a straight line. Like, why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. When my husband and I watched that part of the episode, it's like a running inside joke that him and I have together. But at the same time, we looked at each other and we said, a running inside joke. This scene has been brought to you by the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things, which I have to give credit is from Cinema Sins on YouTube. But it's one of those like, why? Like, because when I first watched it, I was like, why would you run forward? You should like maybe run backwards, but then it like skidded. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then I'm watching it, you know, as the scene plays out, I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. Like, you could literally run to this side or this side or that side or that side, but sure. I mean, I hate running. So, and any excuse not to run any length is where I'm going to choose. And I would have gone to the left. So that's me.
You would be a bad companion if you hate to run.
I would be an awful companion. As soon as 9 popped out and was like, run. I would have been like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to take my chances. Maybe I can talk to them, you know, like I'm good, but that would be terrible. I'd be dead.
So my hill, why is Graham the only one who gets sunglasses? Even though they were fabulous sunglasses that were definitely from Audrey Hepburn. What about sand getting in everybody else's eyes? So I wanted maybe everybody else needed sunglasses.
Maybe everyone else has long eyelashes.
Right. I mean, because he's older, right? So when you're older, your hair thins. Maybe his eyelashes are thinning, and so he's just getting more sand in his eyes. Or maybe he's just a whiny old guy who gets sand in his eyes and wants to whine about it. And the practical woman's like, here's some sunglasses. Stop talking about it.
That's really funny.
Right. I might have accidentally married the person I got these from. We don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea. We have no idea. We'll find out.
In a Christmas episode, obviously.
Yeah.
Fun fact, not that person. Carry on. That was Marilyn Monroe, not Audrey Hepburn.
I know. I said might. I didn't say definite. I knew it was Marilyn Monroe. It's fine.
Okay.
But it's also the doctor, so I mean, it could still happen.
Yeah,
it technically could still happen.
We didn't see him and Amy go to Space Florida, but they did.
But they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. I just really quickly want to say I felt like there were two little throws to previous episodes. One where we had the Planet of the Dead, and that was a special for David Tennant and Lady Christina D'Souza, and the bus that ends up on the planet. And he's like, where are all the people? Why? So I felt a little bit like this, where they're on the sand, and the there's like it felt a little bit like that. And then also another David Tennant episode where he's with Donna, and they're in the library, and he kept going, but where are all the people? So I felt there was a little bit of those two things where they land on planets, but there's nobody there. So I thought that was a little interesting. And I love when you land on planets and the people are not there. You're like, where did they all go? Does this not bother anybody? Yes, it does bother me greatly. Where did all the people go? Why are they not here?
Especially if you've seen Jupiter Rising, which also stars James Darcy. We're gonna get to that. We need to get to that. And we have 12 minutes. So
yes, that's our little trivia for the
evening.
For the evening, because we were talking about our two little space racers, Epso and Angstrom, and I was looking up who played Epso, and his name is Sean Dooley, and I was like, he looked somewhat familiar, and he was in season 2 of Broadchurch, which he starred in with Jodie Whittaker, which was also run by Chris Chibnall. So it was a whole little family reunion because David Tennant was there. And so I just thought that was a fun little, he's like, hey, I get to go now be on an episode of Doctor Who and go work with my mates again. So I thought that was really fun, full circle. Everybody gets to be on the BBC. Everybody who works for the BBC gets to be on Doctor Who.
Yeah. No, I feel like that is really a thing. Because wasn't it the first season of Broadchurch that I'm going to kick myself for not remembering her name, the female detective. She was in
Olivia Colman.
Olivia Colman, yeah.
She's in both seasons. Her and David are the protagonists.
Gotcha. I didn't see season 2 yet of Broadchurch.
It's okay. You have naked James Darcy waiting for you.
I do. So that's an incentive. But when I saw her on there, I was like, wait a minute. No, she was in Doctor Who because she was the mom with the twins.
Right.
Snake thing. Yeah. Right. So,
and
with the mouse.
There was a still of some pictures on David Tennant's desk when he was the inspector, and it was Rose calling for like his inspector, and or Donna was calling, or Martha was calling, and they were phone messages from his former Doctor Who companions. Like, and somebody took a picture of that and blew them up, and they were all Doctor Who companions. So I was like,
so clever.
That's cool.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, I love it. Let's see here. So one thing that I really want to talk about is the timeless child.
Yes, what was that?
Right. Like, because that whole scene, I will admit to the fact that I had to watch that scene like 5 times, like watched it, rewound it, watched it again. And the whole time I'm like, I like this. And because I didn't think that they were going to do that this season, that they were going to like, you know, continue things throughout. So I like the fact that we are going to get some of that. And I want to know what you guys think.
Well, first off, really quick, the flying cloth leeches as the episodic little villains.
Mm-hmm.
At first, you're like, who is the villain? Is it the speed racer people? Is it the race master person? Is it the, is it the who's the actual bad
guy? I felt like it was pretty obvious when they kept showing these motionless cloths, and I was just like, that shit's coming to life. Like,
right. This is why you don't litter, friends.
Evil. Yeah, it's like the Vashnarada. Like, they're in the shadows because they are the shadows. Like, they are gonna eat you.
Yeah.
So,
I loved the leech cloth.
That's what. Yeah, there we go. I didn't know what to call them. So
I don't know if they were leeches though, because they don't like suck your blood out. But
I mean, they were
suffocating
the episode really bad. So
the suffocating cloth.
Yeah.
Leech cloth sounds cooler.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, back to the timeless child. I've been reading some stuff, and they've been saying it's like, is this referencing early Doctor Who? And I don't think so, because that's the unearthly child. It's a totally different name. I thought it was a reference to the Doctor, and because we've seen that the Doctor was kind of an orphan growing up in that cabin in the middle of the desert on Gallifrey.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought it meant. It was referencing the Doctor, but like,
I need to interrupt. Are we still recording? Because nothing's on the YouTube stream.
Nothing's been on the YouTube for a while, but it says we're live and broadcasting. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
It's okay. So I set us to end at 9:30. So I don't know if it'll just automatically cut us off. Okay. We went a little long last time, and it didn't. So, yeah, I thought it was the Doctor in a reference to like the Doctor's childhood, which we haven't really explored. We explored the Master's childhood, but not the Doctor. So that was my interpretation. But other than that, it was very mysterious and a little eerie.
Yeah, definitely. What'd you think, Emily?
I have not had enough time to digest that thought process. Because I mean, it can't go back to, I mean, I don't think it can go back to any of the other things. As much as I wanted it to, because you can't go back to River, who was a baby and then regenerated into like an adult. So it can't do that. So that's why I was like, was she the timeless child? So, but I can't do that. And so I was like, no, don't go there, even though that's where I wanted to go. So I was like, okay, what else could it be? I don't know. I mean, you saw the things where they went to I can't think of the chasm that they go to when they're kids, where the Master goes, and they all go when they're a child and they look into it, and
they have to look into the time vortex.
Yeah, and
like
and the master went crazy, but the doctor didn't. So I don't know.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum,
The knocking.
So.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I don't know what it means. I don't know. I don't know what it means, and I don't even know what I want it to mean. I just know that it sounds really cool. So I want it to be something super cool, and if it ends up being lame, I'm gonna be upset. So that's where I'm at on that.
What I do like about it is that it's the most enigmatic thing we've gotten, but it's about the doctor. And I feel like the doctor is enigmatic, and that's why we're excited by the doctor, and that's who should be the enigmatic character, not the companion, or the best friends, as we're calling it now. I feel like they should be properly human or properly whatever alien species they are, and not anything like enigmatic. Like, they should be special only because they find their heroicness within, and the doctor helps bring that out. So to me, that's like what the heart of Doctor Who is. So I'm happy that it is the like most unknown thing is about just the doctor. Specifically, it doesn't involve anything to do with the companions.
Gotcha. So like no more the girl who waited and
the impossible girl.
The impossible girl and all that stuff.
Yeah. And everyone tried to like name the Russell T Davies companions, like, oh, Bad Wolf, and Donna's like the Dr. Donna. But I'm like, that's not, the Dr. Donna is the closest to it. And I think we can all agree that Donna is in no way enigmatic. So, yeah, it's just a Steven thing. It's not a RT Davies thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yes.
Very excited. So next week,
yay,
we know where we're going. We're coming to the US in the 1950s.
Bama.
Do you guys know anything else about any future episodes?
I know Chris Noth is in an episode.
Okay.
And he looked modern day.
Do you know anything, Laura? Do you want to know anything?
I don't know anything, but I'm cool with knowing.
Lorena.
Lorena also is cool.
Okay. I saw something that said it's called Demons of the Punjab.
Oh yeah, that's going to be episode 4. They go to Punjab.
The Punjab region, and it's 1947.
Yeah, that's a language.
Sorry. And it's Yaz's grandmother, I think, is something that I saw. But 1947 is when Pakistan and India sort of split with the Muslim Hindu thing. So that's going to be interesting, and I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Super excited for that. Yeah, I know literally nothing about that. And if I can learn it from a sci-fi show, that's an awesome start. So
yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I think we should all have chai teas for that episode. So
yes. I love that idea.
That. You'll be back, Laura. Oh, we should let everyone know.
Oh yeah. Which I
think it's next week, right?
The 30th.
Oh no, you'll be gone that one.
All right. I'll definitely be sending you guys my thoughts.
Okay.
Rosa is next with the one you'll be gone is actually, according to this, is called Arachnids in the UK.
Oh, I'm good with missing that.
Yeah, you'll be back for
the
Punjab.
Okay. Cool.
I misread then. whatever I read
think
that in.
this is, I still have Sigun Akinola's IMDb page open.
Gotcha.
So it goes The Ghost Monument, Rosa, Arachnids in the UK, The Chisunga Conundrum, and then Demons of the Punjab. That's number 6.
Ooh.
So,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
I'm excited to. I don't know anything about the other 2, but Demons in the Punjab, I'm super excited to. You know, I think we should have Indian food for dinner and chai tea.
I want to look up. I feel like we should have like Pakistani food, though. Are you saying it's in Pakistan?
Well, Pakistan has not been created yet. At that point,
so we should have Punjabi food.
Sure.
Okay. Or Yemen food. It's like one of the 2.
Somewhere in that region.
Okay.
I'm all here for it. Yeah, I won't be here for the
October 30th.
October 30th. Yes. I'll have a stand-in.
Yes.
We'll have a secret stand-in, people.
It's gonna be a don't miss. So
if you're listening to the podcast
or watching us on
well, the listeners won't be able to see it.
Oh, they'll be able to tell the difference. They'll be able to hear what is Laura.
Okay.
Representative stand-in.
Very good. Very good.
I love this.
Everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 2 of TARDIScuss. We're still getting the hang of things, and we really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. And, you know, we're just 3 super fun, nerdy ladies hanging out with a lady doctor, having fun, talking all things TARDIS for That's Normal. And we're super excited that you're along for the ride through the time vortex with us. But we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.